Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Michaela. So for today's video, we are going to be setting up the mood board for the dining room. Let's just jump right into this video. So first off, I'm taking my Principal nib and my Sumi ink, and I'm going to write dining room here at the top of the page. When I tell y'all, I've had an idea for this dining room since before we were even finished building the house. I knew exactly what I wanted to do in this dining room. I was like saving all these pins and ideas on Pinterest. I was ready. I was so ready for this transformation. So our second floor is more of an open concept, so the living room, dining room, and kitchen all float together in one single space. I will be sure to link my empty house tour video down below in case you want to get a better visual of what I'm talking about. So for designing the dining room, I kind of had a few things in mind as far as the purpose that I wanted to create. So a few of the things I wanted to think about when designing this space were to create a visual separation from the other two rooms, the living room and the kitchen, create a pop of color. I wanted a unique conversation piece. I also wanted it to be kind of like simple, clean, minimal. And I also really wanted to find a way to create texture on this floor. And I feel like the idea that we have with the dining room will definitely do that. So for the pop of color, I found this company called Bauwerk about 1.5 years ago, again, before the house was even finished. And I fell in love with their Limewash paints. So I ordered a sample to see like what it would look like. And because I'm extremely indecisive, I ordered 7 samples actually to decide between. When thinking about paint colors for this space, we were leaning more towards blues. Alex's favorite color is blue. The living room rug is also blue, so we were trying to pick up some of those tones and bring them into the dining room to create more of a cohesive space. So you'll see here, some of these are leaning more towards blue and some of these are leaning more towards the grayish family, although all 7 of these paint colors were in the blue collection for this website. And if you're not familiar with Limewash paint, which I was not familiar with Limewash paint, the more coats you put on, the darker the color will become. So you'll have more texture if you put on just 1 coat of paint and the color won't be as vibrant. But if you put on a 2nd coat of paint, you'll have more vibrancy but less texture. And a 3rd coat of paint, you'll have even more vibrancy and even less texture. I'm thinking these card samples are more like 3 or 4 coats of paint, but it's kind of hard to tell. So on the back of the sample cards, you can find the name of the color and as well as some notes on the color. So for example, this one is River, and it describes River as being a mid-tone blue. And it also gives you some recommendations if you want a color that's more bluer or if you want a lighter version of this color. So here is Mountain. This one is Tucson. This one is Santa Monica. We also have Wild Duck, which is a beautiful like blue-greenish color. I love this one. Here is Juniper. And we also have Storm. We decided to narrow it down to these 4 colors here because they were reading more blue than the others were. So we chose Wild Duck, Juniper, Storm, and Mountain. And I'm going ahead and just cutting them out and adding them to the color palette section. So I'm going to go ahead and add some Fine Tech Gold to the color palette here because I want to bring in some gold pieces. I'm thinking through the light fixture, but y'all, lights are going to have its own separate page because I've looked at every pendant light there is to ever look at, and I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So I just don't know exactly what I want for this space yet. So next up, I'm going to print out and add some of my pictures for my Pinterest page, as well as some of these Bauwerk pictures from their Instagram and their website to show more of the color for Juniper, Storm, and Mountain. So here you can definitely see how Mountain looks a lot bluer on the picture and their website instead of the grayish blue that is reading on the swatch card. So now that we have the reference photos, the color palette, and the purpose set up for this, let's start to sketch this out to try to visualize exactly what we're going to do here. So first I'm gonna start by taping everything off so I can paint inside the lines with my watercolors. And y'all, if taping this dining room wall is going to be half as hard as it was to tape it in this bullet journal, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about trying to get these lines straight. So starting out, I'm just going to use a normal blue color. I'm not going to focus too much on trying to mix the color to match one of the ones in the color palette, especially since we don't really know which one we're going to go with yet. I mostly want to focus on getting the texture down of how these Limewash paints will look once they're painted on the wall. And I think that watercolors is definitely going to show that texture and add that texture to this painting to help us get a better idea of, you know, just what the wall is going to look like once it's done. Next up, I'm going to add the paint for the dining room chairs and table, just so you can get a better visual of what the whole dining room will look like once the wall is painted. And lastly, I'm going to use this marker here to add some details to the lights, the ceiling, the walls, and the baseboard. I am so excited for this project and I cannot wait to see how it turns out. I'm just obsessed with this idea of framing off this space here with a strip of paint and then bringing that paint up onto the ceiling. I just think it's going to be such a cute idea. I'm so obsessed, y'all. I can't wait. Let me know down in the comment section which color was your favorite and which one you think we should go with. I am so excited to share this with you guys, so be sure to subscribe to my channel so you can see how this turns out. Here's a final look of the 2 pages that we set up today for this dining room mood board. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.